I I think I'm live, everybody. Good evening. Good evening, man. Bruce goes over here, man. Tuesday night fights. You got Bruce and you got my brother George Jakovic in the building. And we'll see if anybody else comes in, man. It's still early. The sun is setting, but we still got a nice little glow out there for 7 p.m., man. This kind of tells us that I think Old Man Winter's gone back up to the North Pole, and we're going to enjoy some good weather over here. But I'm enjoying some nice purple haze over here with my legal marijuana, as you know, man. I'm an advocate for medical marijuana or recreational, whatever it may be. Just don't break the law. Find out the laws in your state and abide by them. But I'm a proponent for it, man. And I sit here with my brother George. He takes care of me if I get a little too crazy and lazy over here. But anyway, man, I'm going to bring my brother George Jakovic up here, man. My co-host on Tuesday Night Fights. A great, great friend to have, man. Shout out to you, my brother George.
It's Tuesday. Must be Tuesday. Man, you were talking. It's springtime. It's always exciting when spring starts because the weather's going to start getting nicer, warmer, baseball, boxing heats up, all that good stuff.
All that good stuff. I love all that good stuff.
Hey, I know you watched the fights. We haven't talked the fights last weekend. Did you see Blair Cobbs?
Oh, yeah.
I gotta say, I hadn't seen him enough to know if he was any good. What I saw of him, he didn't look that great, but I love that he was calling out everyone from Boots Ennis to Crawford to Spence. I mean, he is a major league trash talker. He talked his way into a fight. He couldn't fight his way out of it.
No. It was almost comical to see all mouth, and you see that every once in a while in boxing. You see where the bully, so to speak, the guy with the big mouth talks the talk, and he just doesn't walk the walk. And yeah, we saw that, man. It was an interesting weekend for boxing, man. I had a good old time sitting around here. I mean, once again, they kept me up way past my bedtime on Saturday night.
Oh man, yeah, it was a late night. I mean, yeah, it's like these shows are like they're all like pay-per-views. They end so late. I mean, it was I don't know 12:30, something like that. When that card ended.
And do they think we can just shut the switch off and close our eyes and get 8 hours sleep? So I think they have to kind of cater down to us old guys, man. We've been watching boxing for 20, 30, 40, whatever, many years. And the Zone, they show us these fights from the UK, which is cool, bro. Main events at 5:00. That's almost like the old days. And I like the way they're stacking these cards, these internet streams. So you got undercards and everything, so it keeps you going. But when they start going till 11:00 and they're still showing the co-main event, you're getting real yawny and can't pay attention to the fights. You want to go on some rooms and maybe talk about them, but it's just not going to be a reality. It's way too late for a guy like me. That one Saturday, I pay for that for a few days.
I kept going back and forth because I wanted to see Xander Zayas fight. I wanted to see the Cobbs fight and Berlanga. So I kept going back and forth between ESPN and DAZN because I think it overlapped a little. I think the Cobbs fight overlapped a little bit with one of those fights.
Now, George, you've been in the business. Why do they do this to us? What moron in this boxing industry who doesn't know that we're going to watch every fight that we can possibly watch? But when they put them one on top of each other, you have to have the DVR and
they don't care.
And
they don't care. They used to, when they would do schedules, HBO and Showtime and whoever, ESPN, they had their dates set up way in advance. So it was rare when they would have a fight night, same fight night. I think now they just don't care, and they assume that a lot of people are going to stream it and watch it later. I guess they don't care about they've proven they don't care about the live audience because now this happens all the time where there's different networks on with fights. It's like it's common now.
It's a rarity when it doesn't happen.
I know, and it's very annoying. I mean, the last thing you want to do is go back and forth, because I really wanted to see that Cobbs fight because of his mouth, but I wanted to see Zayas and I want to see Berlanga. And by the way, Berlanga, I'm not going to write him off. He's only 24, but he looked awful.
The kid's been fighting since he was a child in tournaments when he was 8-9 years old. How are you going to teach him his basics again? He must know his basics. He must have forgot his basics. Back to square one, as they say. And let me shout out who stopped in the building so far. I mean, me and George Jakovic, my brother, maybe a few more of our co-hosts will roll in as the show goes on. We're here to talk about the left hook, man. One of the most amazing punches in boxing. Sometimes it comes, you see a left hook artist will just come in the ring and that's all they'll throw. Sometimes it'll come out of the blue, but it's always, when you get a perfectly landed left hook, bro, I don't think there's a better punch in boxing, George.
It's beautiful. I mean, and we could have done 8. Think about how many fights we could have done tonight, and throw in like all the Mexican left hookers. There's so many. But you're right. The left hook. It's when a fighter can really sling it, and there's Felix Trinidad. I mean, there's so many. Joe Frazier. When I think left hook, the first fighter that comes to mind is Joe Frazier, I think, because that was him. But the left hook it's a beautiful punch, man.
And
it's a
Frazier,
great topic.
Oh, thanks, brother. And Joe Frazier, he's the epitome of the left hook. You could almost make a statue with just Joe Frazier. His right arm is, it could be anywhere. It could be scratching himself in the ass with his right hand. But that left hook, Joe Frazier, that head forward and that left hook was something that nightmares are made out of. Hey, let me shout out who's in the building. I forgot to do that. Me and George, we get so engulfed in boxing over here because this is one of the few places where it's only boxing, bro. That's what we love on a Tuesday night, and we don't care about anything else, man. We don't care who's arguing in the chat room. You can have your opinions on this and you can have your opinions on that. And the thing is, bro, we talk about the classic stuff in here. So your opinion, just watch it with us. Go watch the fight, and man, you're gonna see some stuff that you say, wow, how did this get by me? Anyway, Slugger Sam, my bro, if you're still out there, thanks for stopping and thanks for the support. My man, Michael Johnson, Boxing Talk and More. Give him a sub. Carlos Mendoza, probably the most controversial cat on YouTube. Always coming over, always showing love over here. Thomas Jones, man, shout out to you. My brother, Chi-Town's finest, man. The boxing physician over there. Look out for Chi-Town's finest, man. Great guy. Always a pleasure to see him in here. Thanks, brother. Let's get back to the Tuesday night fights, George, and the left hook. So, what do you remember about Smoking Joe Frazier?
I wish, again, that's when I wish I was older, so I could have really appreciated him in real time. But again, he was a little before my time. But I just told you, when I think of left hooks, the first when you said you want to do a show on left hookers, he's the first guy that came to mind. Like nobody else. Like Joe Frazier popped right in. And you think about the left hook he landed against Ali, and just he was the epitome of a left hook. That was his punch. And I mean, he was relentless. You're right. He didn't really have he was basically a one-arm fighter. He didn't have a very good right hand, but man, that left hook was just fearsome. The things that legends are made of, and Smoking Joe Frazier, I'll never forget that. A lot of great left hooks in Joe's career, but the one that was heard around the world was 15 rounds, 1970, in March of 1970 in Madison Square Garden. Muhammad Ali just did not. You didn't expect to see Muhammad Ali get flush on the jaw and go down on his ass. Ali himself said he was out cold until his ass hit the canvas, and he came to and got right back up. But he just was. He caught what everybody wanted to see. The Magic Man Joe Frazier on that awesome night.
the fight that had everything with it. But once again, man, the left hook, and we saw our brother. We saw Joe Frazier at probably his best fight ever of all time. You know.
Hey Bruce, you were so excited about Tuesday night fights that your name, you didn't even put your name in right. Your name on the screen. It's Bruce Gas. Do you see that? Because
Yeah.
you're gassed up. It's usually you usually have Bruce Goes on there. You're just so gassed up and juiced up for Tuesday night fights. It didn't matter. It didn't matter. You just
Judge, that little slip of the wrist, a few letters out. That was done. That was done by choice. My brother,
there you go.
150 Dream Machine. I was texting to him the other day, and he got back, and his text back was Bruce Gas, and then he did a rap song too. You know, I would like to pull that up. I should have been more prepared, but I was on with Mad Chads, and included me in a rap song. You know, raps, that's something that I kind of went a little before, a little after my time, but to be honored with that, man. I mean, 150, and you know, all I could do was change my name to Bruce Gas, and
hey, well, I didn't know that.
Makes sense.
I stand corrected. Bruce Gas it is.
Bruce Gas, and everybody says the same thing. They, you know, did you make a mistake? Did you know, Bruce Gas? And then most people get it. They're like, damn, why not? That's perfect. But then there's other people who, well, you know, I know you as Bruce Goes. Oh, you're gonna stay Bruce Goes, and I kind of give him the, you know, I bet you probably the kind of a guy who still called him Cassius Clay till 1970, and I don't hear Bruce Goes anymore, which is my G name. So man, everybody knows me as Bruce Goes, but this is my YouTube name, and I'm digging on it.
You're Bruce Gas now.
That's it, bro. Bruce Gas. So G5, I see you out there, man. You got the link. G5 is one of our hosts over here. He's gonna come in sooner than later. And G5, young dude with a lot of knowledge. He's on all the time. He welcomes people on his panel. I get up in the morning and he's on. I go to bed at night and he's on. I swear this man doesn't sleep. He lives, dies. He is boxing. But anyway, we're going to show one of these Joe Frazier fights, man. This was a fight that I heard on the radio. Actually, it wasn't on television at the time. It was strictly pay-per-view, go to a theater, or it was broadcast on the radio, one of the last radio fights. And I think it was Don Dunphy who did the broadcast. But I remember laying in my bed. I was in high school, and I'm listening to it. And they're talking, you know, they're describing the fight. Great stuff. And man, I'm excited to see this fight. This is Joe Frazier probably at his best. And also, this was when Ali had been stripped of his title.
Yep.
Now Bob Arum set up a tournament, and Joe Frazier didn't want any part of that tournament. He says, "Oh, I'm already the best. Once that tournament's over, I'll take on the winner there." And I think, you know, Buster Mathis was in there, and Jerry Quarry, and maybe Floyd Patterson. But anyway, it ended up with Jimmy Ellis, and he was crowned the WBA champion. Excuse me, I think it might have been the New York State Athletic Commission, or one of these.
Frazier was the New York champ, and
okay,
Ellis was the WBA champ.
That's right. The tournament was the WBA tournament. Ellis won that. Both titles were Muhammad Ali's, which he was stripped from for refusing to be inducted into the army. But anyway, man, this was the fight, the first fight for undisputed since Ali, since the unanimous champ was stripped, and this was a big thing. A lot of people back in the day, they thought Muhammad Ali was done. You know, once he relinquished his title, and once he took a year in activity, 2 years in activity, people weren't the real diehard Ali fans, which I wasn't at that time. They knew, Ali knew, his dogs knew, but most people thought that this was going to be the winner of this fight was going to rule the heavyweight division for a long time, and it kind of did. But anyway, man, let's pull it up. This is Joe Frazier and
This is it.
Jimmy
Frazier
Ellis, Madison Square Garden,
16th, 1970.
1970. Yep, in my bed for this one. Remember it well. Jimmy Ellis was Muhammad Ali's sparring partner, stablemate. You notice he's got Angelo Dundee in there as his trainer.
Yep.
I don't know if he's got Freddie Pacheco, but I knew he had Angelo Dundee. And across the way, you've got Smoking Joe Frazier. Is it Georgie Benton? Or
I see Eddie Futch and
Eddie
Yank Durham.
Futch.
Yank Durham.
Yeah, there you go. Eddie Futch and Yancey Durham. Yep.
Look at how young Eddie Futch is. He had all his hair.
Oh yeah.
Man. Frazier was I think Frazier was 205 in this fight, and Ellis was around 196. He was under 200 pounds for this fight.
Oh yeah. Ellis wouldn't have been a heavyweight today. He was a cruiserweight.
Yep.
But he was the best there was at the time. He earned that WBA strap. So this was a very, very well respected, unanimous heavyweight championship, undisputed. This was it. Muhammad Ali he was in there, but this wasn't a paper championship. This wasn't a paper title by any means. And they're getting their ringside they're getting their instructions.
This fight was at Madison Square Garden to 18,000 people.
Madison Square Garden. And this, historically, the last big heavyweight fight, championship title fight that was broadcast on the radio, and all over the country on the same radio station, which is just not. I mean, it's history. It's not even a memory today. But man, I remember there was no other way to see this fight. There was no internet, no streaming, nothing. Just an AM radio.
That's so cool that you got to listen to it at least.
Well, yeah, it is when you think about it. It is. And here we go, man. Joe Frazier, nothing but left hooks. And Jimmy Ellis, a good boxer. Look at those combinations coming in there. He's trying to keep the bull away from him. Yep.
He had good speed. He was fast. He just didn't have the power at heavyweight to keep these guys off him. He did well against a lot of those guys, but Frazier, Ali, he couldn't handle those guys. The power was too much.
Frazier had that. That was the Philly shell right there from Philadelphia, Joe Frazier, and he just kept that weaving and bobbing, going side to side, but always blasting that left hook. Even when he's not hitting him, even when he's too close, he hit you behind the head, he hit you in the ear. I mean, that thing was your right arm is going to be sore after fighting Joe Frazier. Man,
it was like the way he moved once he got going, the way he would bob and weave. It was beautiful. The way he was just so relentless, and he was in your face and firing that left hook.
Demetrius Bright, salute my brother. Thomas Jones, salute. George, you got a sub from Thomas Jones out there.
I know, Thomas. Thank you.
We want to see him. Because Joe, I told you, George, you're going to wake up one of these mornings, you're going to see yourself with 10,000 subs. Great. I mean, you're just the production work you put into there blows my mind. 3.5 minutes, and it must have taken you 3.5 hours to put something like that together. Damn.
It's fun though. You know how it is when you have a passion and you love it. It's fun.
The love for the game. And Jimmy Ellis is looking pretty good here. Jimmy Ellis is holding his ground right now. Joe Frazier's not just rushing in. He's been tagged with a few combinations. On the inside fighting. Like we said, man, we were talking about that last week. Tough guys, they don't mess around. They don't dance around.
And Jimmy Ellis from Louisville, Kentucky, he trained with Ali. He
was
a stablemate of his.
He looks like a lot of Ali in there. You can tell.
Yeah.
But there's only one Ali.
Mm-hmm. See, I mean,
nice stuff. You can tell those are Ali-esque combinations in there.
Ellis had a nice first round.
Yes, he did, man.
Whew. Imagine Joe Frazier coming at you, like you're trying to hold him off, and you're seeing Joe Frazier bobbing and weaving coming at you.
So strong. I mean, he's probably got smoke coming out of his nostrils.
Oh, man.
And Angelo Dundee, calm and cool, probably one of the best, if not actual trainers, but motivators in that corner. We've talked about that before.
Yeah, he never cracked under pressure, and he always knew what to do, what to say. Yeah, it was incredible how he never, that's when
No,
your greatness comes
now
when the
that
pressure is on.
wouldn't Belanga have been better off with something like that in his corner on Saturday night?
Yeah, Berlanga needs that and then some.
Yep, yeah, you're right, Thomas Jones, Jimmy Ellis. I think he started as a middleweight.
He did. I think he did start as a middleweight.
And he's really he's got great combinations. Trying to keep that mad bull away
See,
from
look
him.
at that, sticking the jab, lead right.
Dropping that right, yeah. Oh, look at an Ollie dancing back there. It's just great, great stuff from the school of Muhammad Ali, who's probably at ringside.
Frazier had a chin too, though. I mean, people forget. I mean, he got George Foreman did what he did, but that was George Foreman. Frazier had a great chin.
He would get dropped occasionally. I think Oscar Bonavina
dropped him a few times.
Mm-hmm. But like you said, it wasn't Joe Frazier. It was his style to get up. And even when George Foreman was knocking him out on his feet, he was still he didn't get counted out. The fight was stopped, but Joe was still on his feet.
It was crazy. I mean, if they would have let him keep fighting, he would have kept fighting until he was asleep. Because you're right, he kept getting up.
The last of a dying breed for sure. Joe Frazier was just too great a guy to pass up when we're talking about left hooks. Because like you said in the beginning, when you think of left hooks, you just think of smoking Joe Frazier. I say jumping because I've seen him throw that left hook actually leap off the floor.
Boy, that wouldn't have been a bad nickname, but Smoking Joe's better. Jumping Joe. It's got some, Jumping Joe Frazier. That's pretty good, but
Joe.
Smoking Joe is yeah.
And he's had other fighters like Burt Cooper who was given that nickname.
Smoking
Burt Cooper, and they tried to illuminate him too, but Joe Frazier, I mean, often imitated, never duplicated. That's Joe Frazier.
Well, I remember his son Marvis. Marvis was a good boxer, and the Frazier tried to mold Marvis into his style. And like you said, there's only one Joe Frazier. Marvis Frazier was a really skilled fighter. He was a small heavyweight too. Good boxer puncher, but Joe tried to turn him into a mini version of Joe Frazier. There's only one Joe Frazier.
Marvis was a fan of Ali's style.
Mm-hmm.
He was a dancer. He couldn't fight like Papa Joe. And it was so sad the two times that we saw him get demolished. The Larry Holmes and the Mike Tyson.
Yeah.
And you saw Joe there. Joe in his corner. He was his trainer. He had the jacket on, and he had the corner jacket on, and you could just see his face. He's trying to keep a smile so his son doesn't stays together. But man, Joe, something he had experienced himself, something he had seen before. Just a man, Joe Frazier, just a great guy.
Well, if you ever watched the Tyson Frazier fight when they were standing at mid-ring for the pre-fight instructions, Joe was standing behind Marvis, staring at Tyson, and it looked like you could see it in his eyes. Joe wished that he was fighting Tyson that night and not his son. Like you could see it in his eyes. He wished he was in the ring with Tyson that night.
Hey, we had Demetrius Brett. I shouted you out, man. Thank you for coming in, my brother. And we got Xavier, the boxing nerd, stopped in here. My brother William, old school on that, man. Peace to you, my bro. Thanks for coming in. And Dr. Paul Evans just snuck in the back door, man. Nice. The tree doctor himself, man. Salute to you, my brother, my Capricorn brother. I'm here with my man George Jakovic. We're watching some classic left hookers tonight, and we're watching probably the best left hooker of all time here. The guy who would knock down the Empire State Building if it came on a 1-to-1, and that's Joe Frazier, man. This guy just everybody's worst nightmare is seeing somebody like Smoking Joe banging his glove together, getting off that stool in the 14th round and coming out for business.
Boy, someone fought on the undercard too that you might have heard of for this fight. George Foreman fought on the undercard. I don't know if he was the fight before this main event, but George Foreman, who was an up and coming heavyweight, was on this undercard. And
Oh,
look at Joe Frazier just rocked him
oh,
with 3 hooks.
oh. And I'll bet
Oh.
George Foreman was watching this fight and saying, "I hope I never have to get hit by those left hooks."
I mean, when he throws and lands that hook, it's like bing. It's like, But I will give Ellis a lot of props because he got nailed with 3 hooks that staggered him. I'm shocked it didn't drop him. Ellis had a lot of heart, man.
Ellis he did. Well, we saw who he could fight everyone in that division except the elites, except the absolute best. Jimmy Ellis was a great boxer, great footwork. I mean, he was a mentor of Muhammad Ali, and he did Ali's name well while Ali was in exile. Oh, look at the left hooks right there, man. And Joe Frazier, when he hits you with one, he's going to hit you with another one, and a double, he's going to triple it. And it's almost like the right hand's non-existent. We were saying, look, see that right hand?
Shark smelling blood, just And that's where you do not want to be.
You're right, Thomas Jones. Ellis was tough.
I mean, where Ellis is right now, you do not want to be just on the inside with Joe Frazier. You do not want to be on the ropes.
No, Ellis needs to be at center ring, and he needs to be staying away. He needs to be flicking the jab, just like he was doing earlier. But we knew that wasn't going to last forever. Even listening to this fight on the radio, I was 14, 15 years old, whatever I was. I had this false sense of hope. I knew that Jimmy Ellis wasn't going to last against Joe Frazier. That was Joe's style. He'd lose early rounds. He'd take early rounds. He'd figure you out. Khan Shawnee, my brother. Salute, man.
Khan. Boy, and Ellis just landed a nice combination right before the bell.
Absolutely.
So here's a replay.
Yep. Go look. Oh, now that would have been a nice still shot for the show right there. I mean, we are talking about the left hook. The one of the most beautiful punches in the world, man. If it's shown that the short check left hook. It doesn't travel 6 inches, but it'll send you into 6 weeks retirement. It is just a devastating punch, and there's just so many punches that have mastered it, and punches have had their different styles on it. We remember Donovan Razor Ruddock. He had a hybrid hook and uppercut. He called it the smash. I mean, he gave Mike Tyson hell for 12 rounds with that punch.
I thought he killed Michael Dokes. When Ruddock knocked Michael Dokes.
Bro. Yeah, I felt bad for Michael Dokes. Michael Dokes was coming out of rehab. He was, trying to get back into boxing. And, I was riding with him. Look at this. Jimmy Ellis is trying to hold Joe Frazier's gloves. Joe just rips him out of Jimmy Ellis's grasp. Oh, savages. For the heavyweight championship of the world, too. They don't go 400 pounds combined. Look, and Joe Frazier going to the body with that left hook, and he's even throwing some decent rights in here too. But he's putting a hurting on Jimmy Ellis. Oh, Jimmy Ellis is one tough cat. Reggie Owens, my brother, salute to you, man. Thank you for stopping by. Just covering some Tuesday night fights with my brother George Jakovic over here. Something we kind of got a little habit going over here, and we're getting our fix tonight. We're watching some of the greatest left hookers of all time. And right now we're watching probably one of the, arguably one of the best, arguably, and that would be Smoking Joe Frazier.
Boy, Ellis had some success, but the last round he got wobbled. And ever since then, you notice his legs are gone and he's got no choice. I will give him credit that he's not running. Ellis is winging some shots. He's trying everything.
Oh, Ellis just got a nice left hook in there.
He's trying, but he just doesn't have the firepower.
No. Joe Frazier's got his feet set up. He's leaning forward. He's in that perfect position that he just loves to throw his punches in. He's outpowering Jimmy Ellis. Jimmy Ellis is look at the combination though. Jimmy Ellis is no dog in him, no quit in that man. But you can see he's pushing his punches out there. They don't have the same snap. He's trying to keep that he's trying to keep the body guarded.
Oh.
And Joe Frazier, that was his. He was a full proponent of Joe Lewis's "kill the body and the head will die," and Joe Frazier lived by that saying. Look at that nonstop machine. Oh my goodness. That head is like a speed bag. And look at the way that Jimmy Ellis went down. You don't get up when you go down like that. Some do. I don't believe he is getting up. Are they going to stop this fight?
No, they let it. Back then. Now today, this fight would have been over.
Looks like Arthur McCanty in there.
And look, Jimmy just threw a big right. I believe he makes it out of this round.
Oh,
boy, Ellis is still trying.
Oh no, that's it. I'm sorry. That's the fourth round. No,
now look, the ref. Isn't it crazy? Again, this fight would have been stopped today.
This is it. It's over right now. I remember this one well. Yeah, back to the corner, but he doesn't come out for the fifth round. The fight is essentially over. I'm almost positive if it's not the fourth round, then I'm more senile than I think I am. But I'm pretty sure this fight is stopped right here. The beautiful punch in slow motion, and Joe shifting around, getting his angles together. Oh, that head's like a speed bag. It's like he landed a 3-piece on there, and Jimmy Ellis just kisses his feet there. He fighters that go down like that usually don't get up.
Boy, he got up twice. Back then, I mean, Reggie Owen says refs were horrible back in the day. It wasn't the refs, though. That's just, fights.
That's the beautiful brutality of our sport. That's what it called for. At the I think they stopped the fight here. Yeah, that's it.
It's over. Heavyweight champion Joe Frazier.
We tokers don't do senile, brother. No, I didn't think I was senile. Just sometimes I forget things, but they come back again. So hey, man, thank God for what's going on, man, because everything is. Look at this fight, beautiful brutality, great stuff there. Joe Frazier is now the undisputed heavyweight champion of the world. He makes a few defenses. He's waiting for Muhammad Ali. And when I say he made some defenses, we're only talking like a year later till the fight of the century. I mean, very, very soon. But
Frazier looked so happy too. He was a young man here. He just became heavyweight champion.
Oh yeah,
he had his whole career in front of him.
And this is when he starts getting the calls from Ali. You're not the real heavyweight champ, Joe. You got to fight me. You got to beat me to be the real heavyweight champ. And Joe Frazier was the kind of a guy where he didn't sit around with the title for a year. He didn't run with it. He didn't. Oh no, you don't. You got to be top ranked. You're not gonna box me. PBC's not coming over here, bro. That fight was made because it was boxing. That's what boxing was all about. The best fighting the best.
You see Howard Cosell. Howard Cosell in the ring.
Unbelievable.
Can you hear it?
No.
I wonder why it doesn't. Well,
we know what happened. This was a great left hooker, and we're gonna keep with the tradition over here, bro. We got some awesome left hookers that we're going to talk about here, and I believe the second one we were going to talk about was Sugar Ray Leonard.
Ooh.
When Sugar Ray Leonard fought Davey Boy Green.
Now you're talking, because this was my guy. This was my guy. So Sugar Ray had just become welterweight champ, WBC welterweight champ 4 months before this fight. He stopped Wilfred Benitez in the 15th round. So Davey Boy Green from England was Sugar Ray Leonard's first title defense.
And I'll tell you my little take on this fight. This was on one of these extravaganzas that Don King puts on. There were 4 championship fights from 4 different locations, and they had the rings were surrounded up top with large screens, with giant screens. And just before this fight, that's not my dog, is it?
No, that's my dog.
Bro, yesterday mine went crazy in the middle of. I was on a live, and the mailman came. And you know how that is, man. They see the mailman every day. They know who
Yes.
he is, but
Yes.
they're gonna just go crazy. I love my dog so much, man.
Yeah.
I'm gonna be, man. You know, I look at him when I walk him and I say, man, I hope I go when you go, because you know, we've all had many dogs, and you know, they come and they go, and that's almost one of the beautiful parts about it. You know, you give them their whole life, and you know, you take care of them right till the end. And I'm looking at my dog now, and I'm saying, bro, I don't want to go through this again with you. You know, I just want you to stay with me, and you know, we'll go through the pearly gates together. The way I feel about it, you know.
I know what you mean. I know exactly what you mean.
Yeah, you got to love those dogs. And this fight, like I was saying, Don King put this card on. It was on a Monday night. This was on ABC's Wide World of Sports, bro. 4 championship fights.
Night of Champions.
Night of Champions. This was the co-main event, so to speak. Every fight was a main event, but this was the co-main event. And before this fight, we started off. We saw Marvin Johnson lose his light heavyweight championship to Eddie Mustafa Muhammad. I mean, it was just like, wow. That was the kind of a fight where you would have shut down the shop and stayed home just for that.
Just for that fight.
And speaking of left hooks, we saw John Tate with that fight against Mike Weaver in his hometown in Knoxville, Virginia.
Oh,
Mike Weaver in the 15th round with those kind of left hooks that just belong on this show. Andre, man, salute. Thank you for coming in here. Those kind of left hooks that you'll never forget them. And I'm, you know, if the fight wasn't 15 rounds, if we weren't under the constriction of a several 20 hours, 5 hours, whatever it may take us to end this fight, but you know, a couple of hours, I would have put this fight in there. But I just wanted to include this Sugar Ray Leonard fight. But getting back to this card, the second fight of the night was the Mike Weaver and the John Tate fight.
Big John Tate.
Yep, and Angelo Dundee watched it, and he said to Sugar Ray Leonard, "You watching that? You watching that? You see those upsets? Anything can happen in boxing. You know, keep your head on your shoulders, kid. Because, like you said, this was his first defense of his newly won WBC welterweight title. So Sugar Ray Leonard's not the polished veteran that he ended up as. This was a raw, basically. You know, it was a champion Sugar Ray Leonard. But how old was he, George? 25, 26, maybe?
He must have been around 20, 24, 25. And this fight is, you know, Sugar Ray Leonard was the pretty boy. He was the pretty boy boxing. Sugar Ray Leonard was a beast. When he needed to be, Sugar Ray Leonard was a beast.
Oh, yeah.
And he was a beast against Davey Boy Green. A beast. He was a killer. He was a man. He gets all the accolades of being the pretty boy, the sugar man, but man, he was a fighter, period.
I was fortunate enough to see Sugar Ray Leonard live once in my life, and it was at the Providence Civic Center. He fought Floyd Mayweather Sr., who was, I think he was the number 4 ranked welterweight at Ring Magazine at the time. And I saw it was a good fight, very competitive, until Sugar Ray hurt him. And then Sugar Ray had the killer look in his eye. And I was in the 4th row watching it, man. And I'm like, man, this is like beyond street fight toughness. This was Pretty Boy turned into Charles Manson before my eyes. You know, it was just, wow. Chi-Town's finest, man. Salute to you, bro. Still here. Jeff Lucietta, bro. Thank you so much for stopping in. Yeah, Razor Ruddock smash punch, bro. We talked about that. Because, you know, that left hand, you know, God only gave us 2 hands. But something about that left hooker, you know, there could be 50 hands, but that left hook on the chin is just so classic. And in boxing, it's just ended so many nights for so many fighters, opened up so many careers for so many fighters. And right now we're gonna check one out over here, bro. We're gonna check out Sugar Ray Leonard and Davey Boy Green. It comes up in a bit. Like I said, this was the night of the champions. This was a full card. The main event is still to come after this, which was Larry Holmes against Leroy Jones, which turned out to be so anticlimactic for the rest of the card. But this is Sugar Ray Leonard's first defense of his WBC welterweight championship. He's a young man in there, dude. 24, 25, bro.
There's
dude,
Angelo. Angelo
yep.
And Davey Boy Green, this was his second shot at the title. He in 1977 he lost to Carlos
Carlos
Palomino, who was
Palomino.
an excellent fighter. He got stopped in the 11th round. So
Yeah,
this was
Davey Boy Green is not a young guy in here. I believe he's well into his 30s in this fight.
second title shot. Arthur McCanty's the ref.
Arthur McCanty, man. Arthur McCanty was probably in better shape than half the fighters in there. Great referee.
They spelled his name wrong
Probably
too.
my greatest of all time. And here we go, man. Sugar Ray Leonard in his prime. Probably didn't even hit his prime yet. Hasn't fought Roberto Duran for the first time. Hasn't even the thought of Thomas Hearns is definitely there. And it was a train wreck. It was set to happen. Even when they turned professional, that was going to happen. But here he goes against Davey Boy Green. I believe he was from Wales, and European champion. Tough guy. Tough kid. People wanted to see the pretty boy get into a scrap. They wanted to see what Sugar Ray Leonard was all about. You know, fighting Benitez was fine and well, but this was almost like the precursor to Roberto Duran. They wanted to see what it would be like and messing it up on the inside with a tough kid who puts his head down, you know, throws a lot of hooks to the body and just keeps coming forward. And that's what Davey Boy Green is over here, man.
This fight was less than 4 months after Benitez. 4 months.
Oh, yeah.
4 months.
And you know, it wasn't even jaw-dropping because that's just the way it was back then.
Right. Today, like we've said it before, but Canelo, what he did, people lose their minds that he fought like 4 times in a year or 4 times in 13 months. People lose their minds, but that was the norm because he fought Davey Boy. And I believe 3 months after this fight, or a few months after this fight, he fought Roberto Duran. So there you go. He fought Benitez and Duran within 7 or 8 months of each other. That's
unheard of by today's standards. And then Thomas Hearns wasn't more than a year after that.
Right, because he had the rematch with Duran.
The rematch in November.
Although he did have Leonard fought Ayub Kalule. He moved up to 54 and he won a belt.
How can we forget about Ayub Kalule?
And then
that was a tune-up for Thomas Hearns, and the man was an undefeated world champion.
Yeah, that was a tune-up, moving up to fight an unbeaten bigger man at 154. That was the tune-up for Sugar Ray Leonard.
Yep, incredible. And that was the same. Thomas Hearns was on the same card. You know, their fight was pretty much a done deal. They just had to go get through these respective opponents. And look at this guy.
Look at how fluid he is. This is my guy. This is my
That's
guy.
when George said, "I want to be a boxer."
I wanted to be. I've said this to you. I didn't want to be like Sugar Ray Leonard. I wanted to be Sugar Ray Leonard. He was amazing.
Poetry in motion right here. Yep, this is the way I saw him at the Civic Center. It was just the footwork, the tassels on his white boxing shoes, just poetry in motion, and the feints that he had, just great stuff. And here we are in the second round. First round, kind of a feeling out process. Davey Boy Green is trying to get the range on Sugar Ray Leonard. Sugar Ray Leonard always circling around, inside, outside, just a tough guy to figure out. You know, Sugar Ray Leonard had it all. And, you know, he's just moving to his right, moving to his left, you know, dropping that jab when he can. Never moving straight backwards. Davey Boy is just trying to come forward. And he's trying to get his own left hook in there. But Sugar Ray Leonard is just timing him, just figuring out the what's happening over here. My brother Big Duke 24. Anybody out there, make sure you sub to Big Duke over there. Fourth Quarter Fitness. I do a show with Duke every Friday night, man, 6 o'clock. Big Duke is the real deal out there, man. He does not just talk the talk, believe me. Big Duke is in the fitness industry. Dude, you got to come over to our show and see it, George. You want to get some inspiration. You want to get yourself back on the track. You want to be like an old man over here, still ready to throw them fists up at 67 years old. You stop over to Big Duke's Fourth Quarter Talk, Friday afternoon, 6 o'clock. I will remind you, my brother.
With a name like Big Duke, like he's got you better be the truth.
Big Duke smashes. Big Duke literally smashes backboards on the basketball court.
Wow. His name
I
is Big
mean,
Duke, so I'm not going to question anyone
Big
whose name is
Big
Big
Duke.
Duke. I
Big
don't
Duke
question.
throws Big Duke catches Hail Marys in the Big Ten, and I'm not exaggerating at all, bro. So check out Big Duke, man. Check out his
Absolutely.
channel. And everybody out there, sub to my brother Big Duke. And I'm kind of the color man of the show. I keep the show going. So you don't see my name in lights over there, but you'll see me there every Friday afternoon, man.
That's awesome.
Salute to my brother Big Duke. And stay healthy, man. Drink your water, take your supplements, do your cardio, lift your weights, train every day. It's only putting money in the bank so you can spend it after you want to kick back and enjoy these golden years. And speaking of golden, look at Sugar Ray Leonard with that. Oh, look at the combination. Oh, my God. George, what is this kid doing over here?
That combination that he just missed, he ended the fight with that same type of combination with the left hook punctuating it.
Oh, man. Sweet. No wonder they call him Sugar. Look at him. Look at him avoid those punches. That was like Ali, just the head moving.
Must be
like
tough when you're Davey Boy Green. You're fighting a guy like Sugar Ray Leonard, and you just can't do anything. You can't nothing. I mean, he's not getting blasted out of there yet, but and the Sugar was a mean. He was when he had to be mean.
Oh yeah, mean. And you can see it. You can see that anger. He's controlling it right now. He'll explode.
And there he is. In Big John Tate's last heavyweight defense, the last few moments of him being heavyweight champ. Sad story. John Tate.
Some trolls over here trying to use my handle over here, but we'll let him get away with it. Yeah, we just saw John Tate. John Tate's physician, Dr. Wiesel. Yeah, John Tate just went to sleep. He just kissed the mat over there. That was like it's almost like I'm hoping they show that knockdown.
Because the fight he had lost already, right?
John Tate?
His fight was before this, wasn't it?
Yeah, it was before this.
Okay,
yeah, he had lost. Okay, and this is his physician saying, "Oh, okay. he's good. He's good." I didn't like that look on his face there, but yeah, John Tate was never the same. And actually, this fight was the fight with Mike Weaver was supposedly a precursor to a fight with either Ali or Larry Holmes. So that's how big John Tate's that's how much of a reputation he had going into the fight. But once he got tagged with that left hook, left hook.
Gas OG said, imagine what Sugar Ray would have done to Errol. See, I'm the wrong guy to ask about that because I think Errol Spence is a great fighter. But I think Sugar Ray Leonard was an exceptional elite fighter. And I would have loved to see him. It's fun to match other errors, and everyone has their own argument. And I respect everyone's opinion, but I'm always going with Sugar Ray Leonard against anybody, except maybe Sugar Ray Robinson. But at 147, I'm going with Sugar Ray Leonard over everyone.
Who's going to argue with that,
And I respect people's opinions. I do. I like some people.
Opinions on arguments, though, brother.
Right.
That's something that I try to stress wherever I go, man. Opinions are not arguments, There has to be a winner. There has to be a loser. And, I just hope that somebody's backing the fight. Somebody's backing every fighter in there. Even Davey Boy Green here. We're gonna watch some beautiful hand speed, a beautiful combination. It ends with a left hook here by Sugar Ray Leonard. It's coming up very shortly. Arthur McCanty separating them, and you gotta love people who are pushing for Davey Boy Green. George, I remember watching this fight, and I was beyond fanboyism here. I was kind of hoping Sugar Ray would get tagged here, man. I'm saying, oh yeah, look at this kid. This kid's pretty good. He's got some nice hooks on the inside. But then Sugar Ray, I mean, during this whole period. But me, I just like to see a fight. I just saw two on this card. We saw two upsets, pretty much upsets and titles changing hands. I was ready to see another one. That's the frame of mind I was in. And Larry Holmes fighting. I wanted to see Leroy Jones beat Larry Holmes too.
You never know how good a fighter is until they do it in big fights. And at this point, Leonard had beat Benitez, which was, people expected him to do, but he wasn't the Sugar Ray Leonard that beat Duran, that lost to Duran, beat Tommy Hearns. He hadn't proved himself yet to be a great fighter. He was a lot of promise at this point.
And people resented him for that.
Right.
Especially Marvin Hagler. But that's another story. But
Right.
people looked at him as the pretty boy. Great stuff.
Yeah,
Shout
man.
Shout out to the queen.
Yeah, man. That's my girl, man.
Yep. Well, I'll tell you, she represented you well over there, man. Her and Mad Chad were talking about basketball, and I don't know shit about basketball, man. I don't give a fuck about basketball. So anyway, it was over my head. In fact, I put Mad Chad's son shooting the free throw, shooting the half quarters and the bombs, man. That kid is one talented shooter.
Mm-hmm.
Great stuff. And here we go. Davey Boy Green is. Are they picking him up yet?
They just sat him up.
I mean, people thought he died in this fight. That was such a devastating.
He was still out.
He was totally one punch that just short circuited him. Toby Bartlett, man, salute my brother. Thanks for stopping in here. Jelly Bean, man, salute to you, my brother. This was Davey Boy Green and Sugar Ray Leonard. We're gonna watch some other real. We can watch some quick fights because they're just destructive left hooks, and that's what it's all about, bro.
He can't even stand up. I mean,
no, that just short circuited the brain right on the chin. That's where people wonder why that knocks you out. You feel that. That's where the skin meets the bone. There's no muscle in there. You get hit on there, that's going to send a short circuit to your brain. The pain is going to be so intense. You better just pass out right now so you don't experience more pain than you ever experienced. So that's why people get knocked out when they get hit on the point of the jaw.
Sugar Ray Leonard's first title defense.
Yep. Sugar Ray Leonard. He's raising his hand saying, one down, another 100,000 in my bank account. Roberto Duran, you're next.
Yeah, in 3 months. 3 months after this, Roberto Duran was next.
12 weeks. That's not even a...
It was over. He threw his hands up on his way down. He knew it was over.
He knew it. Those are the kind of punches. You land a left hook like that, the first thing you feel it in your waist. And, this is within minuscule split seconds. And then you feel it down into your toes, and it just kind of moves up, and you know it. You know when you hit somebody with that, your whole body into it, with a left hook with the pounds per square inches on the end of that, man, it's good night. No count required. Just bring in the coroner. Raise your hands. The fight is over. One more great left hook that we just saw.
Yes, it was. Salute to the chat. Salute all you good people in here. Appreciate y'all pulling up, supporting this, Tuesday night fights yet again. Y'all the real MVP.
Wait, what is it, G5? It's what? Tuesday night fights.
You got it.
Tuesday night fights.
Yeah, we only got used to it, so it just roll off so quick, like Tuesday night fights,
Yeah, this is Tuesday night
ENF.
fights. And Bruce came up with the concept tonight that we're gonna focus on left hookers. So we saw Joe Frazier become heavyweight champ, knock out Jimmy Ellis. We saw Sugar Ray Leonard with his first title defense at 147 pounds with a beautiful left hook knockout of Davey Boy Green.
Slump God.
We just waiting up on another one, man. It just keeps getting better in here.
You tell we can look. We can go. Let me see. I'll throw one in. I'll throw one in that I'm sure most people have seen. You remember this fight, Bruce? Jerry Cooney, a gentleman known for his left hook, and
this is Ken Norton.
No, this is Jerry Cooney.
Oh, Jerry Cooney and Ken. Oh my God!
And former heavyweight champion of the world, Kenny Norton.
I saw this fight as it happened on HBO my homeboys and I, there was no HBO in my town, so we rented a room at one of the nicest hotels in Providence, the Providence Biltmore, and we saw this fight it was on a Monday night, this fight.
Mm.
We had room service. We had Oysters Rockefeller. We were getting Clams Casino. Bro, we spent a wad. It was a bunch of Sparkloons and myself. And, we $100 a piece between 8 guys. We could have a first-class evening. And this was the main event. And even though it was short and sweet, nobody was disappointed. It was just so dramatic. People were like, wow, maybe this kid's for real. Everybody thought he was a softie. Everybody said he's over the hill. Even though Ken Norton was well, and he was on basically one of his last fights. But we thought it would be too much for Jerry Cooney. We said no. Ken Norton's just he's too much of a pro. He went 45 rounds with Muhammad Ali, or 40 some odd rounds with Ali. This kid's not going to touch Ken Norton. He's not going to hurt him.
You know the knock on Kenny Norton. When he was up against a puncher, Ernie Schaefer's, George Foreman, Jerry Cooney, when he went up against punchers, he just I mean, those are some fearsome punchers that we're talking about. But yeah, he won all those rounds with Ali. But boy,
Victor Valley, the trainer of Jerry Cooney.
I know Jerry Cooney. Like I've read Jerry Cooney's book, and he had a problem with alcohol and everything. But
I talked to him, George.
But his guys, like, I don't know if he would admit it, but they fed him Ron Lyle and Jimmy Young and Ken Norton, guys whose prime was 10 years before. He was fed these guys, and it's like Edgar Berlanga. He was knocking out all those guys, but did he learn anything? How did these fights get Jerry Cooney ready for Larry Holmes?
It was the alcohol and the drugs. Jerry Cooney, nicest man in the world. I talked to him twice. The first time for a lot. The second time kind of hurried. But anyway, man, he bared his soul. He told me it was the alcohol and the drugs that fucked up his career. After this fight, he said he celebrated with a line of Coke and a shot of Irish whiskey, and he never stopped all the way through. Larry Holmes, all his fights.
Listen, I agree. I know, but Larry Holmes always said he was going to take Jerry Cooney into deep waters and he was going to drown him, and that's what he did. Jerry Cooney didn't know what to do. Jerry Cooney has admitted, I didn't know if I could go the distance. I was worried about not letting my hands go. I was worried about going 15 rounds. The drugs and alcohol definitely had an effect, but he was not ready. And it's okay to not be ready for Larry Holmes. Larry Holmes is an all-time great fighter.
Well, that night, nobody was going to beat Larry Holmes. That was Larry Holmes at his absolute best. A couple of new faces bopped in here, man. Thank you so much. Kui, my sister, who I had a great talk with Kui a little while ago, man. Salute to Kui. D-Ray Promotions. D-Ray, my brother, thank you for coming in. Always a pleasure seeing D-Ray. We're going to watch a devastating knockout here, man. A left hook specialist, Jerry Cooney. He was the great white hope. His career was cut short with alcohol and drugs. He wasn't managed by Don King. He admitted it. The biggest mistake of his career. So Don King controlled the heavyweight division back then. He had his big fight with Larry Holmes. He relied on the left hook. He hit Larry with some ungodly left hooks. I mean, any other fighter but Larry Holmes would have been out that night. But Larry Holmes was just at the top of his game, and I don't care how good Jerry Cooney was, a prime Larry Holmes, Jerry Cooney's not going to beat him. I mean, Larry stood up to some hellacious punishment that night. But look at this fight. I was sitting there watching this with my boys. The countdown, Jerry Cooney, this is your baptism, brother. I mean, you're facing a veteran here, a world seasoned war veteran over here. Ashley, salute, man. Thanks for coming in, sister.
This was Kenny Norton's last fight.
Mm-hmm. I know just before this, he fought Scott Ledoux to a disputed draw. And Ledoux's making all kind of 35 years old.
24 years old, Jerry Cooney was.
And like I said, his career was pretty much gone at this time. He was enslaved to alcohol, to coke, to heroin. Jerry just he fucked up. He admits it. And He's not living the life he could. He made $10 million in this fight. All
the
gone.
Holmes fight. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm sorry, the Holmes fight. Yeah, but here we go, man. Look, watch the left hook. Watch this. Another one will knock down the Empire State Building with a left hook. This is kind of what Ken Norton did to Dwayne Bobbick a few years earlier in the same building. No, this was this in Madison Square Garden?
Madison Square Garden. Yep.
Okay, same building.
This is it.
Oh, here we go. Here we go. This is sad.
Oh, he's out right there. He's out there.
This. No. Ooh. Look at Ken Norton would sit. Oh man. And that looks like he just crashed up. And sadly, he did really mess himself up. He got in an accident with his Porsche.
It was a left hook that had him out on his feet, and then he
got
hit like 6 more times.
That's all Cooney had, but he'll live or die by the left hook. He lived by it in this fight with Ken Norton, and he died by it in the fight with Larry Holmes. But Jerry Cooney, what a nice guy. He's trying to get fighters back on their feet who are who don't have any insurance, any pensions.
Yep.
He runs charities. He tries to start. He has different speaking tours. But I mean, Jerry Cooney, his heart is for the fighter. He's hip on what's happening today in boxing. Nice man, nice guy.
He's got a show on Sirius XM with Randy Gordon every Monday and Friday from 12 to 2 on Sirius XM. They've had that show for 13 years. Jerry Cooney's been host of that show.
See, I've never seen it.
Yeah, not many people have Sirius XM radio. But they've been doing it for 13 years. Cooney's got a book. He had a book out a few years ago.
Oh, bro, he's an encyclopedia. He knows his boxing inside and out. Yeah, Norton was definitely he was at his peak in the late 70s. His fight with Larry Holmes was probably one of the greatest fights in the world, man. The heavyweight. Ken Norton was one of the Bruno. My dog's having a nightmare over there in the chair. Hey, shh, be quiet, baby. I'm over here. You ever see them dogs? They're sleeping, they start barking, and it's like kind of. Here we go. Look at this.
So they just replayed the first round again. Oh,
unbelievable, man. Jerry Cooney was nothing but hooks. And Jerry Cooney was a body puncher, too. He was a rib breaker.
So here we go, a slow motion replay. Yeah, they should have stopped this fight about six punches before they did. Boom. Bro. So Norton wasn't out yet. He gets clipped with a left hook somewhere in here. See, now he's in the corner.
What a great camera angle that is. Boom.
I think that left hook.
I think he gets a couple to the ribs here too.
Oh, why'd they stop? Oh, Barry Tompkins and Sugar Ray Leonard, my guy, Sugar Ray.
Is that Barry Tompkins?
That's Barry Tompkins.
Okay, yeah. Yeah, great display of power with that left hook. I mean, that's even if that's all that he had, because there were a lot of heavyweights with more talent than Jerry Cooney that didn't succeed, but because they just didn't have that equalizer, that freaking baseball bat that comes out of nowhere and just it doesn't. With this fight, it didn't even end it. It just dictated the whole fight. You could see that Ken Norton didn't want anything. Didn't even want to be in this fight.
Oh, that was a left hook right before that too.
Those weren't necessary. Those
last 4 shots.
And he was sitting on the turnbuckle when he got hit with those punches.
Ooh.
Devastating stuff.
Wow,
man.
Yeah, that was a left hooker right there.
So many throughout boxing. I was watching some fights yesterday. I was watching the Sugar Ray Robinson and the Carmen Basilio. Well, it was said as one of the greatest left hooks in boxing history. And you just watch Carmen Basilio. It seems like when they get hit with that punch, they go face first.
No, I know the fight. You mean Gene Fulmer, right?
Yeah, the Onion Farmer. Yeah, Gene Fulmer.
And Gene Fulmer. Oh my God. Yes. Oh God.
The second fight.
He dropped like he was dead. I mean, Sugar Ray Robinson. Like I said, I'm a big Sugar Ray Leonard guy, but Sugar Ray Robinson, probably one of the greatest fighters ever. Period. Maybe the greatest welterweight ever that has graced the ring.
Well, you look at Sugar Ray Leonard back in the day, and then you go back a few more days and you look at Sugar Ray Robinson. It's almost like the spitting images. One just he actually takes that name. Most people, they don't do that name justice, but Sugar Ray Leonard, he did the name justice for Sugar Ray Robinson. And we've seen a lot of Sugar Rays out there, and Sugar Shanes and Sugar Ray Seals, and I mean there's been a few throughout the illustrious name of Sugar Ray, and Leonard is the only one who no qualms. He's Sugar Ray, just like Sugar Ray Robinson.
So, Bruce, when you're ready, I've got a gentleman by the name of David Tua who would like to introduce his left hook to the crowd. Against this fight was David Tua against John Ruiz, 1996. This is another heavyweight, and this is David Tua and the left hook.
David Tua from Samoa. Just seemed to come out of nowhere on the boxing scene when Mike Tyson was incarcerated. David Tua came and took over the scene, and brought on by Lou Duva, Ronnie Shields in his corner.
Yep.
I mean, this kid was a wrecking ball. Whew. He was 3 rounds or under, first round, second round. He was a killer. He's fighting a former WBA heavyweight champion of the world. And
5'11". I think Tua was 5'11". He was short like Tyson.
Yep,
short like Tyson and Joe Frazier.
Yes. They had such a comparison to him and Tyson, because like I said, Tyson's incarcerated, so the heavyweight division it goes in shambles when Tyson's not there.
Now Ruiz had not won the heavyweight title yet.
Okay. He won it after this knockout.
I will give him credit. He gets obliterated in 1 round, and John Ruiz is not going to go down as a great fighter, but he was able to become heavyweight, win a belt after this, after getting just blitzed.
I wasn't thinking back clearly. I thought this was at the after he had won the title, but you can see Johnny Ruiz is a young guy. This is before the Holyfield fights, and this
Atlantic City. This is Bally's Atlantic City.
Yeah, you can just tell by the color of it that it's compared to Las Vegas. Yep. Atlantic City always has a more of a tinge to it. I think I saw Stormy B Man in the ring up there, man. Salute to my brother Stormy B Man out there.
Stormy B, who are these guys?
You know these guys, brother. Left hook, the most beautiful punch in boxing. And we're just focusing in on some left hookers over here. I got my man George Jakovic over here. I got my brother G5, and me and him are hitting on some serious weed over here. We're digging on some Tuesday night fights, and we're looking at some guy who's about to get his head taken off by David Tua. I mean, this kid was considered invincible up until his fight with help me.
Who, David Tua?
Yeah.
Well, Tua lost against
Iabuchi.
Iabuchi.
I just couldn't get that name. My brother Jay Blues Radio. Thank you so much for stopping in the room, brother.
Remember, we watched that fight a while back.
Yeah,
I believe it was, and they was hitting each other with full flush shots. I was like, man, dude, nobody went nowhere. I was like,
well, guess what, Gabe? G5, somebody's gonna go somewhere in this fight.
Oh yeah, I already know that. I like Tua.
Oh,
here we go.
He was out.
Look at this.
Oh.
That left hook was unnecessary. Just like the count is unnecessary.
His left hook is deadly.
Yeah,
you see the torque he got on it. Oh my God.
We've got to see that one again.
Oh, trust me, they'll show it about 90 times. Wow.
Wow.
That torque he gets in it is, ugh, Jesus.
And you know who he had in his corner. He had one of the wild Samoans, the wrestlers. There was Roger Bloodworth in there, but yeah, Alpha or Sika, one of the. If you guys remember wrestling,
Here's
there was
a
the wild
replay.
Samoans.
Don't blink. Boom.
Oh, look at this, and that right there could have ended the fight, but nope. 1, 2. Nice right hand. The unnecessary
And then
bang.
one more.
Oh, George, that left hook was unnecessary. That, like I said, that right there, that should have been he should have been down. The turnbuckle kept him up on that one, but Johnny Ruiz, tough
He's
guy.
out now. He's
out on his feet.
And then
Bang.
that one.
Oh, unnecessary right there. That's a concussion. That's brain damage. That is just beautiful.
You see what Stormy B man said? Do we have Jimmys with all these hookers, or y'all raw dogging? There's a lot of hookers.
The hookers got a 2-for-1
Stormy.
special going on tonight.
We got like a 10-for-1 special tonight.
Yeah, that. He came out the gate with a flying.
Oh yeah,
I mean,
and look at Freddie Flintstone. Freddie Flintstone has a big smile on his face. He sees dollars in his pocket.
Oh.
There we go. One more look at this devastating, unbelievable. Oh! I think the referee said, I think that might have been unnecessary there, my brother. But let's not say anything.
You know,
let's hope they don't keep showing it on replay.
Tua did the same thing to Michael Moorer. If you remember
stuff.
that fight when he fought Michael Moorer.
Oh yeah. Oh,
he did
that
the
was
same about 30 seconds, and it was over. Whew.
My brother G5 up there, man. Being the Tuesday night fights. This is my Tuesday night bud over here, man.
Oh yeah. As soon as I get to the half. Oh yeah.
That's a little bit of that. That's a little bit of Bubby's gift. You know me, man. I just a few hits on that Toke too, so I keep calm because I'm in the midst of such talent over here, man. I get anxious. I get anxiety attacks, but the weed keeps me going, man. But I can hang with my brother George Jakovic and G5 over here, man.
Well,
so
listen,
I love it, man.
You know what else? What else is going to keep you going is the next fight. We're going to see a beautiful left hooker by the name of Felix Tito Trinidad. This is a middleweight fight. William Joppy. Trinidad won a middleweight belt, and I was at this fight in Madison Square Garden.
All right.
And I wasn't working. I was at the fight, and I just remember, I don't know how many people were in the crowd, 16,000, 17,000. It was like being in Puerto Rico. And there was no animosity in the crowd. The crowd in New York City, they loved Trinidad. I mean, they loved Trinidad. And this was a memorable night. And I remember when the fight was over, Trinidad would not leave the ring. He was just waving to the fans, and the people stayed in the crowd. Usually when the fight is over, people kind of rush to get out. It was a celebration after he won this fight. People stayed and people cheered, and Trinidad stayed in the ring. Man, wow. He had a left hook.
Woo. Oh, he was a beautiful fighter. I can remember the first time I saw Trinidad. It was on a Don King card, and he fought Yuri Boy Campus, who had about 100 fights. I mean, this kid was just he had the deer antelopes on his head, and he had the mariachi band. Dr. Mark, thank you so much for coming in here, my brother. Thank you so much for coming in. It's Tuesday night fights with me and George Jakovic and G5, and sometimes we have Mad Chad, and sometimes Unrivaled come in here and talk some fights with us. But Mark said he's got to get some sleep, and Mad Chad, I don't know, bro. Mad Chad's a busy man. Mad Chad's running, trying to take care of his son. He's keeping his life together. He just broke his ribs last week, so. Mad Chad, we can give him a little grace over here, but we'll get him on here real soon. My brother, right side. Salute, my man. Salute, my brother. Thanks for stumbling in the room tonight, man. We got up to 20. We got 20 people in here, man. Thank you guys for stopping in here, man. I looked today. I got 440 subs. I was like, wow, blew my mind right there, man. You know, I know it's for the love of boxing, for the love of weed, just for for the love of wrestling and health and fitness. And man, we get it all over here, and we appreciate everybody stopping in to say hi to us and showing the love and showing the support, man. We're watching William Joppy and Felix Trinidad. I didn't know George was going to stick this fight on here, man. My brother George always pulling an ace out of his sleeve.
I mean, we're talking left hookers, so Felix Trinidad, and he was a brilliant. He was a welterweight champ, junior middleweight champ, and this was his. I don't know if it was his first fight at 160, but it was his first shot at a middleweight title.
I spoke to William Joppy on a panel, and he swears, man. He said Felix Trinidad had loaded gloves in this fight.
Look, I mean,
he said if he saw Felix Trinidad on the street today, and Felix is in bad shape. He said
it's boxing. It's boxing, so anything is possible. I wish there was proof, because he has no proof. But I will say, if we found out today that he had loaded gloves, this is boxing, man. Who's gonna say they're shocked?
You're right. I found out something the other night when Trick had Roy Foreman on my show. Roy said that. You remember how George's face got all banged up when he fought Alex Stewart?
Ooh, yes.
Roy said he took Alex Stewart's hand wraps out of the trash, and they were cement.
Again, I believe it.
When did you ever see George's face look like that?
It was he looked like he was gonna die after that fight.
And I heard that for the first time. I was like, wow.
Remember what he said? Remember he said they wrapped his hands, and once his hands was wrapped, they kept dipping it in water and making them dry to where it got hard like plaster. I was like, wow.
I mean, there's just Bernard Hopkins. I think when Bernard fought Trinidad, there was an issue with the hand wraps, and he made Trinidad re-wrap, and then Bernard Hopkins took Trinidad apart in Madison Square Garden when they fought.
Bro, this morning Drew Titan said to Devin Haney, when you go to Australia, you make sure you get all your water, all your Gatorade, all your food. You don't take nothing from them. And bro, I mean that's boxing. Look at this, man. Wow. Already Trinidad knocked him down, but this is the dirty sport that we love. And
boy, Trinidad was
a natural born killer. Look at him and look at him yelling into his face. These guys don't like each other. They still don't.
Well, Joppy lasted a few more rounds, which is credit to Joppy, because he was out that first round. Yeah, boxing is boxing, and again, there's no proof that Trinidad's gloves were loaded. But again, and if you go back to the Hopkins fight, Hopkins they made Trinidad re-wrap his hands because they thought something was shady, and then you saw what happened in that fight.
Well, Tim Witherspoon told me on my show, like we're sitting here, he was a sparring partner for Jerry Cooney, and Cooney's camp sent him home because because he wasn't folding like the other sparring partners. When he went in there, he noticed they were all hurt. They were broken ribs, broken jaws. He said Cooney was taking the padding out of his gloves. This is what Tim Witherspoon told me. He saw Cooney's corner taking the padding out of his gloves so he could punish sparring partners and feel what it was like to break bones. And it was just really, really disturbing, to say the least.
Yep, I was a part of that stream.
Again, and again, there's no proof of it, but do I believe it? Yeah. Am I shocked? No. Like who's shocked at any of this? Nobody.
Stormy, you crazy as hell.
What's up, side your head?
Oh yeah, about to pull up to the house. Yeah.
I'll tell you, I don't know how Joppy. I remember being in the crowd. We all thought the fight was going to end this round. So this is all credit to Joppy.
And Trinidad's the junior middleweight here too, correct, George?
Yeah, he was moving up. He just moved up to middleweight,
and he looks bigger.
I mean, Trinidad. You could tell Trinidad at 147 was you could tell he was starving himself. When he fought Oscar De La Hoya, he looked like he was starving. When he was at 154, he was deadly, and then he took his power up to 160.
Can you imagine Thomas Hearns and Felix Trinidad at 154? I don't think it would have lasted long.
Boy, can you imagine Tommy Hearns hitting someone with a right hand with the padding taken out of the glove? They wouldn't wake up. They wouldn't wake up.
Punch Smollett, salute my bro.
Him or Hagler.
Exactly.
Lord, man, you going to sleep. You're gonna have permanent physical damage forever. You know,
in the section I was sitting in, again, the whole crowd was like for Trinidad. But I remember there was this one guy who every round or so, he would get up and he would say, "Let's go, Joppy," and everybody around him would get up and they would just start chanting Trinidad. But this guy, man, every 5 minutes or so, he got up and he was rooting for his guy. And again, it was the crowd was great because there was no animosity. They weren't cursing at the guy, but they were chanting Trinidad. I mean, he would get up and 80 people would be around him chanting for Trinidad. And this was Tito's night.
Did Tito have that smile on his face like a child from ear to ear, man? It'll just kind of warm up a room when he comes in it. Because I know when Felix smiles, he just...
I think he's another guy, another fighter that I believe he had a business manager or someone that just mismanaged his money and
his father.
It just I don't know if he's broke, but
Opulent LD, salute.
Just sad.
Salute to Opulent LD. Yeah, it's very tragic. Opulent, salute my brother. Thank you for coming in here. And George,
salute.
My brother Xavier asked if you can play Dempsey and Shockey after this one. We've got another half hour, so maybe we can do that. It's up to my man George. He's the producer in here. This is my executive producer, my director, my co-host, bro. Yeah, we can. You're lucky. It's not just. We'll drop the Bruce Gas. We'll put George Jakovic in front on the marquee outside.
Look, we'll look for Dempsey and Sharkey next.
Man, because we love boxing over here, and I think this is one of the only places where we're hanging on to that tradition. You may say, yeah, we're just bringing up old fights and playing them, but bro, I'm kind of reliving these fights, and it's making me think I'm right there in the living room watching these things, and we're talking about them, and I'm remembering things because being a lover of boxing, we get into these fights more than the average fan out there. I don't call anybody a casual because I'm a glorified casual myself, but we just have a deeper love and appreciation. Yeah. And these fights will never get old, man.
Stormy, man.
Jack and gas. Look at Stormy up there. Jack and gas. You got that right, bro. What about G5, man?
Stormy. What about G5? Where's the
love? Man. G5 is our co-host over here, bro.
Oh, you see how he just did me?
High gas prices. My bro.
Where's love for Gabe?
And Trinidad dropping those left hooks to the body. Great.
By the way, this is Arthur McCanty Jr. who's repping this fight.
Yep.
We just saw his dad.
Talk about carrying on in daddy's footsteps, man. And it's funny, George. We got Jimmy Lennon and Jimmy Lennon Jr.
I know.
Damn.
Yep.
It's just so beautiful. It's just people that don't know boxing, they wouldn't even think about that. But it kind of warms my heart when I see fathers and sons like that are just successful and doing what they're supposed to be doing what God intended them to be doing. And look at these guys on throwing those hooks on the outside. Both of them are going for the knockout punches over here.
I mean, Trinidad threw his left hook like a sickle. But the thing about Trinidad, he had one game plan. He didn't have if his left hook wasn't working, and if it didn't hurt you, he had no plan B. He had no plan B. It happened against Hopkins, and it happened against Winky Wright. Winky Wright beat the bejesus out of him with his jab for 12 rounds. And Trinidad, as great as he was, he could not adapt like Floyd Mayweather could adapt to a guy's style. If Trinidad's left hook was not hurting you, if he couldn't overwhelm you, he was in trouble. Now, not many people could do it, but Hopkins did it. Winky Wright did it.
Winky Wright was a bad man too.
He sure was. Winky Wright took Trinidad apart in that fight. He dominated almost every second of that fight.
I mean,
William Joppy is really trying to put a hurting on Trinidad. He just can't land anything.
But he did land some. But look, who thought Joppy would make it to the third round after that first round?
After the first round, you're right.
Man, Stormy is cutting the hell up.
With these high gas. See, G5's like a Tesla.
Yeah, I guess so. I guess you say I'm electric gas man. I don't even need it. You need gas whenever you need it.
Hey, we're not rationing over here. Our prices are low. Free gas over here. Buy 1 gallon, get 1 free. Like the old gas wars back in the day, even before my time. Bro, I'm going to tell you something. When I first got my driver's license, 36 cents a gallon for gasoline. And you go to the gas station, you could put a buck in, you could drive for a couple of days.
Wow.
Not now. Shoot,
Not
you put
now.
$1,000
You kidding me? You can't even get a gallon. You can't even get the fumes are more than $1 these days.
Oh man.
Oh, look at that damn Felix Trinidad. Was that a left hook, George? Did we just see a left hook from hell that just kind of short circuited his brain? Yeah, William Joppy's walking on spaghetti over here. He should look at this. He's got nothing, no legs at all. Holding out for dear life.
Trinidad had a decent right hand too.
For the kill.
Trinidad had a good right hand. Trinidad was not a one.
No, I was going to say that earlier. Besides that sickle-like left hook, he had a devastating right hand.
Yeah, he did.
Dimitar, salute my bro.
Yeah, buddy.
People were actually
Bruce,
calling.
I seen that 440, man. What's up, Bruce 440? Mr. 440.
Hey, bro, I didn't have a 440, but I used to have a Cutlass. It was my favorite car of all time. It was the 1970 the 350 Rocket.
Would you throw on some Brute Fabergé before you?
I did.
It?
Yes, I did, bro.
Yeah,
it was a convertible too, man.
Nice.
And I had the dualies on there with the Flowmasters. Oh, that baby sung. I had fuel injection in there. Took out the carburetor. I had idle block chrome. Thing was chrome all over the place.
Yeah. Okay,
bro.
Bruce.
You could put a shot. You could put a shot of tequila on that air cleaner, and it wouldn't drip. It wouldn't spill. Make a drop. I put push rods. And then this thing was cherry. Some motherfucker rear-ended me, fucked me up, and you want
to kill him.
Yeah, I don't care how much they gave me. It wasn't enough. That was my car. That was my. I was just. It was kind of a day that the world's changed. But hey, man, I wouldn't be what I was now if it wasn't for what I was then. So God is a reason for everything that He does. And I had that Cutlass for about 15 years, so it was time to say goodbye. And I'm glad nobody else got her too. She was an accordion when it got towed to the junkyard.
Man.
And meanwhile, William Joppy, how in the world did he make it?
Accordion.
How did he make it out of the fourth round?
I don't know.
Look at Drew Titan. Yo.
Yo, my brother Drew Titan.
Hey,
Drew, you said it today,
Titan.
man.
Drew Titan's in here, so I wonder if...
Don't take a bottle of water. Don't take a bottle of Gatorade. Don't touch nothing over there. Bring your own frozen steaks. Bring your own potatoes.
Hey, Drew, where's the captain?
You,
where's the captain, Drew?
Don't start no shit over here. This is a boxing channel. This is not the Midnight Ramblers. This is Tuesday night fights. Ooh. And bango, Felix Trinidad with a right hand. We're talking about the left hookers from hell. And look at there we go. Whoa, baby. Yeah, baby. left hook from hell, right there. Boom.
Bang! Right on the button.
Kind of like a little bit of a Frazier and Ali, just the knockdown. But William Joppy's up and he's back again now for round number 4 over here, round number 5. A lot longer than we expected this fight to go, and here we go.
I mean, he got dropped twice in the first, once in the fourth, and Joppy's still trying to win.
What
the
were
fight.
you doing, George, at this fight?
I was in the crowd. I didn't have to work it, so I was in the crowd. I'll be honest, I was kind of rooting for Joppy, but I didn't want to yell out because I didn't want to, get a
knife in your back, maybe.
No. The crowd, it really was not that kind of crowd. They were very
well,
animated, but
I'm a nice guy too, but I don't think I've been to fights that some of the boys I was with weren't strapped at.
I kept it to myself that I wanted Joppy to win this fight.
Sometimes that's the best way to to go into a fight. Hostile territory. I used to go to the wrestling matches and root for the bad guys, and some of these guys used to want to fight with me because of it. So you got to watch out for tribal fanism everywhere, man. Sometimes it's better to just keep your mouth shut and watch the action. But yep, this is it, man. WBA middleweight championship, I believe. And this was Don King's mission to unify the middleweight title. He had all kind of major fights in this tournament too. This was big stuff.
Well, this was Don King's guy right here. He had everything banked on.
Oh, yep, he did, man.
Until a guy named Bernard Hopkins.
It's amazing. They all had to go through the legendary got better as he got older, like fine wine, Bernard Hopkins.
Man, Hopkins was brilliant when he fought Trinidad. I mean, brilliant that night.
Yeah, Drew will tell you, man. Felix Trinidad, William Joppy said that he was fucked up. There was, those gloves were not right. Felix Trinidad had the advantage in this fight, according to William Joppy. But bro, it's as old as the job of prostitution, man. Boxing is what it is, and I bet every fighter out there who's had 50 fights back in the day will have a story that'll make you go, what? And it is what it is, man. Sometimes you can't look. Wow, look at this. Wow. No. That's the end right there. Felix Trinidad.
Credit to Joppy. Joppy made it to the 5th round somehow. And
like Drew said, he mentioned on his show he does not remember after the first round. There's a lot of fighters like that that'll say that they don't remember anything after that round. I can't think of any to the head right now, but there's they're in there. Quite a few fighters that have mentioned that specifically. They just don't remember anything after their knockdown or.
There's Don King. Now
you
better believe if Joppy won that fight, he'd have been right in Joppy's corner.
Bro,
waving an American flag.
You heard Don King just won the purse rights for the Daniel Dubois and Trevor Bryant fight, didn't you?
Who cares about that fight?
Oh man, a heavyweight championship fight, the only champion, bro. I don't care. I look forward to all fights, and what they're giving us now, I'm gonna watch it. What am I gonna do? Sit here and talk to you all night about old fights, man?
Yes,
I'm watching the real.
Yes, no. That night, you and I are gonna do a show. We're not gonna watch that fight.
No, I can't do it. There's not enough potency in my weed to keep me away from watching the live.
There is. What do you call that stuff? Purple haze or whatever?
Yeah, Judge, I'm impressed, bro.
Well, I heard you say it many times, so.
Oh, look at that right hand. That would. Oh, damn.
Again, man, Joppy. What heart and determination that he made it to the 5th round after getting dropped twice in the first. And if he was at the disadvantage he says he was at, my God, I don't know how he made it to the 5th round.
Amazing stuff. Hey George, hold the fort down for a second. I gotta fill my water glass up over here, bro.
Do your thing. So G5, someone asked to see Jack Dempsey and Jack Sharkey. I don't even know. But to be honest, I mean, we're talking left hooks, G5, and we're rolling with heavyweights now. And if when Bruce comes back, the fight I'm going to propose next is Mike Tyson against Trevor Berbick. You've seen that fight, right, G5? Oh, G5's not here. It's just me. So Mike Tyson and Trevor Berbick, McCallum Curry. Mike McCallum landed one of the most beautiful left hooks I ever saw, and he laid out Donald Curry. You know how you lay out a
George,
carpet?
I remember. Oh, bro.
Donald Curry laid out like a carpet in that fight.
Bro, that was a fight that I thought Donald Curry, what happened against Lloyd Hunnigan was a fluke. You know, I still had faith in Donald Curry. I thought Donald Curry was really gonna.
Curry looked good the first 4 rounds against.
Salute to my bro Troy Graham out there, man. Thanks for having me on. Troy Graham had a stream last night. We were supposed to get David Benavides, but things happen. You know, it'll be rescheduled. I'm 100% sure. But shout out to Troy Graham, man. He set up an interview with Benavides, and it's going to happen because he knows the fight is. I have no doubt about it. But salute, bro, salute. Yeah, we're gonna watch another beautiful left hooker over here, man.
You know where we're going. I don't know. I think Khan might have asked for this. We're gonna go Mike McCallum and Donald Curry. We're gonna go to the 5th round. Now, for the first 4 rounds, Donald Curry was boxing beautifully. I mean, he won the first 4 rounds. So this is Donald Curry moved up to 154 pounds. And this is Curry against 154-pound champion Mike McCallum. And this is one of the most beautiful left hooks you will ever see. Ever.
I remember this so well. Like I said, man, I thought it was a fluke that Donald Curry got beat by Lloyd Hunnigan. Never mind, stopped. And this was a natural progression to go on and win the junior middleweight championship before going on and fighting Marvin Hagler. But man, what a new respect I found for Mike McCallum after this fight. Check out this left hook coming up, man.
Curry had the shag. He had the shag haircut. Curry looked good. Now, you know, his left eye is swollen, so McCallum landed some shots, but Curry was looking good through the first 4 rounds. Great amateur, bro. Curry was same fighter. You know, one of the we've got the 4 kings, and everybody said there should have been a 5th king, and unfortunately, Mike McCallum was the odd man out there because he was. That's where we're gonna leave Donald Curry right there, man. That was great stuff. Great stuff. So
G5 back. I'm sorry, bro. All right, my man, back on the scene again. What happened, G5? You
I asked them to kick myself out.
Oh, okay, no problem, bro. Sorry about that.
Yeah,
man.
I was typing in the private chat. I was back in the backstage talking about.
I never pay attention to the private shit. I gotta get myself set up.
I said my 2. I said
I'm gonna blow your mind, man, because I'm gonna stop myself. I'm gonna get a new camera. I'm gonna do some streams outside when I walk the dog. Major Key, my brother, salute to you. Derek Bailey, thanks for coming in, everybody, man. I appreciate it, man. I'm gonna get myself a mobile camera so I can show to you guys, man. I go out here, and believe me, I don't live in I kind of live in this funky little, almost like a National Geographic kind of scenery where you're going to see some wildlife, some waterfowl. And man, I see hawks down here. I see seals down here. I see, I've seen eagles down here. Foxes, just amazing things when I walk Bruno in the morning. And you're going to see Bruno, you're going to see him piss down a sewer grate. My dog doesn't piss on fire hydrants or on trees. He waits till he gets to the sewer grate. He pisses like a human being, which I've had a million dogs. I've never seen another dog do this. But every time somebody goes by, they beep the horn, give me the thumbs up. It's kind of like mind blowing. And for him, it's regular stuff. But I kind of like it though, because that's. Anyway, I'm going to get a new camera. I'm going to improve my internet system. I've been waiting to do that for a while, and my wife gave me the okay. So, I'm gonna get some mean shit out. In fact, I'm gonna have to hire about 3 Georges. I'm gonna have to get an executive producer. I'm gonna have to get a director. I'm gonna have to get
Listen, baby, why hire 3 when you got 1 right here?
And G5 is good in
man, did you hear that? Did you hear the line? Why hire 3 when you got me? Like he's used it before, bro. I mean, shit. How can this?
So
all right,
Bruce,
man.
I've got Jack Dempsey. I got it queued up to the round that he knocked out Jack Sharkey.
All right, man. We got time. We got time for one more. We got time for one more.
1927. This is when they used to announce fights.
Well, George, 1927. I was getting served in a few speakeasies back then. It was depression, so it was a tough time. And
this
here we
when
go, man.
They announce fights like, and Jack Dempsey comes out with a good right hand. And there's Jack Sharkey lands with no right hand. And they're going back and forth. It's a pier hook brawl right here, folks.
It's a bond burner guy.
Jack Dempsey. Looks like he's got Jack Sharkey in trouble. But that's the way it's crazy how they used to announce fights back then. So
yeah, Jack Dempsey.
So that's the left. So what happened in that fight? Jack Sharkey was claiming he got fouled, and he turned to the ref. And Jack Dempsey hit him with a left hook and knocked him out. So
Jack Dempsey was a killer, though.
You're going to see Sharkey, and this is Sharkey's fault. He got hit low somewhere in here.
With those 6-ounce gloves.
And then he got...
Yep. Oh.
Good night.
That's Jack Sharkey's fault.
See ya.
So protect yourself at all times, mate.
I don't know who asked for this fight, but we took a request, and
there you go, my bro. There you go. Xavier the boxing nerd. Xavier the boxing nerd is a historian. He's a young kid, but he knows his boxing. He speaks with a dry monotone, but he's done a lot of studying, and he doesn't make things up. He's a fact checker. And man, shout out to Xavier the boxing nerd. You bring up the boxing IQ of this room when you stop in here, and plus. He digs on jazz too, so I entertain him with a jazz show I do once in a while. And shout out to the brother.
Hey Bruce, it's only 8:47, so can we play one more because
Judge, Judge, I only said that for your benefit, bro. In case you got to run, I can go a little over time over here, man.
When you think about left hooks, the left hook that Mike Tyson landed on Trevor Berbick, that
one punch that knocked him down
3 times.
3 times. I thought it was 6 times.
So this is the second round of Mike Tyson, 20 years old. He is on the verge of becoming the youngest heavyweight champion in history.
Yep, I remember this fight. I had to get home. Oh, this was a bad night, a bad afternoon night for me. But Mills Lane looks like he just shaved that head too. Got that landing strip going on in there. Oh, here we go. Watch this one left hook. Count how many times he goes down.
20 years old, man.
Yeah, Mike Tyson.
Say what you want about Tyson, but Mike Tyson was 20 years old, and he became the heavyweight champion of the world. And Trevor Berbick was a rough, tough fighter. He went 15 rounds with Larry Holmes. He was the last guy to beat Muhammad Ali, sadly, but he went 15 tough rounds with Larry Holmes when Larry Holmes was in his prime. Trevor Berbick had never been stopped.
No, tough guy and a dirty fighter too. Trevor Berbick used every trick in the book, but Tyson was just too overpowering. Stormy B Man, shout out, bro. Yes, everybody, when we get through, man, go see Stormy B Man. Check out Stormy B Man's stuff, man. He's got good shit going on over there, man. You'll never hear a bad word about Stormy B Man from me because I've been following him for a couple of years now. And shout out to my brother Stormy B Man and Underground Asylum, bro. Shout out to you, man. And I get a lot of cats that come in here that I've seen them for years. Oh, here we go, for years on the internet, and it's like, man, it's like the prodigal son's coming home. I want to kill the fatted calf. I enjoy seeing these cats stop in and give me a thumbs up and just coming around here and passing through, man. I appreciate it. I feel honored. So thank you very much, gentlemen, ladies and gentlemen. And here we go, coming right up. And it doesn't even look like it's a hard left hook. And Mike Tyson, the man who peaked at 22,
caught him right on the temple. Vlad, who passed away.
Yeah.
Kevin Rooney supposedly is in really
Angelo
bad shape.
Dundee and Trevor Berbick's corner.
Yeah, Kevin,
Wow.
Jose Torres.
Damn. Isn't it like great to watch, to see these yeah, Jose Torres, man. Oh, bro. You know, to see
Look,
these
Trevor
guys
Berbick.
when they were,
Trevor Berbick has no idea what happened to him. Here we go.
Yeah, he on Jupiter right now.
didn't knock him out so we could punish him. But I don't know about that.
A few months ago, he did. He had some kind of a medical condition, and I believe he had a stroke. I could be wrong with that, but Steve Lott passed away a few months ago. Steve Lott, who was Mike Tyson's right-hand man for all of these early fights. He was part of Team Tyson.
Tyson slept on his couch.
Oh, that left hook to the temple. Look, I never saw a knockout like this that was so delayed. Woo.
Great stuff, man. Great memories of these fights, you know? Really just brings back the lights the sparks in here, and seeing these guys, all these cats now, a lot of them have passed away. A lot of them are feeble and old like myself, and seeing them as young men over here kind of almost makes me feel like a young man. Almost. J Blues Radio. Did you say Joe Louis was ringside? No, I was talking about Larry Holmes and Trevor Berbick. That was Joe Louis died that night or the day after. He was at ringside for that fight. It was in April of I think it was 1980. Maybe 81, but 81. And Joe Louis was there in a wheelchair. He had the cowboy hat on. Didn't really speak. You know, like I said, you know, he had a stroke, and he was an old Joe Louis. He just brought there, you know, to be there. And it's funny because Sugar Ray Robinson was at the fight too, and he was seated up in the nosebleed seats. This was Caesar's Palace, and you know, Joe Louis, when they wheeled him around, I remember the HBO announcer, I can't remember which one it was, said, you know, there was a puddle of urine when Joe Louis was wheeled away, and you know, he kind of like very sad, and Louis died the next day, so it was, you know, triple sad, you know, seeing him there, just not, you know, just dying in a puddle of urine, basically. Pretty tough.
Well, listen, let's get happy again. And
I'm happy, George, man. You know,
listen, and Troy Graham is asking for Duran versus Hearns, but that's a right hand. We're talking about left hooks, and I've got Sugar Ray Robinson and Gene Fullmer. I believe it's queued up to the last round of that fight, and this fight, for all the fights that Sugar Ray Robinson had, a lot of people think this was his most devastating knockout, where I think he recaptured the middleweight title against Gene Fullmer. But this is whenever you're ready, Bruce. Yeah,
we'll definitely do that fight for you though, because there's the anniversary that's coming up very shortly. We love to do anniversaries. My brother Troy out there, man. Hey Troy, this Toke 2 is for you, my brother. With all due respect.
Sugar Ray Robinson and Gene Fullmer. I think Sugar Ray, I believe he was like a 5-time middleweight champion, which is crazy. Probably the greatest welterweight champion ever.
Probably the greatest boxer ever.
I mean, we're seeing left hooks tonight from some all-time greats. From Sugar Ray Robinson to Sugar Ray Leonard.
You're gonna see a face-first dive too from the left hook. I mean, it was just devastating. Almost, I'm not gonna say out of nowhere, but like all left hooks, just kind of very dramatic, very beautiful ending. Yeah, everybody at ringside, man, all dressed up, they got cigars in their mouths, and just a crazy era of boxing. This is in the 50s, George.
1957.
50, bro. I was 2 years old at this time.
Were you at the fight?
Mom was born.
Yeah. Oh yeah. You know I was there. I was sitting on my daddy's knee and I was crying when I actually hear people say that. You know, I say, how can you pay attention to that when you were 3? They're telling me about how they felt when Ali lost to Frazier the first time. And here we go.
Oh wait.
Oh, this is the end of the fight already?
You know what? I queued up the.
I think it was the second fight, the rematch, because Fulmer won the first fight, and Sugar Ray starched him in the second fight with that unbelievable left hook.
Okay,
but
well, guess what? That's
but make no
rectified
mind, my friends out there.
Here we go.
The hand is quicker than the eye over here at Tuesday Night Fights, and we can edit that. We can edit that right out of the final presentation, as if I know how to do that. But here we go.
This was still 1957.
Oh yeah, they didn't fool around back then. You know, if somebody fought 4 times a year, they looked at him as a slacker.
So Gene Fulmer beat Sugar Ray Robinson their first fight.
Yeah,
he's the defending middleweight champion of the world.
This is the rematch, and I'll bet they both had a fight in between this too.
Crazy,
just insane. This, like we said so many times, it's a different era of boxing. Boxing's not. It's never going to be like it was back then. I didn't see it like it was back then. I saw it. Oh! Look at that left hook.
I mean, it looked like Robinson was moving backwards when he hit him.
He had that rare ability.
Wow.
Damn. Out. And wow.
There's Gene.
Yeah. You know, I've seen that face many times. Very recognizable.
Boom. Just picture perfect.
You know, Gene Fulmer's passed away, but when he was alive, you would see him speak with the Cauliflower Air Club. There's some organization all these old fighters used to get together at, and you knew that face, man. Gene Fulmer.
Yeah, I mean the nose. He just
the onion. Yep.
He looks like
all those guys. Kim and Carmen Basilio. Yeah. There were a bunch of guys in the day. Rocky Graziano. You know that middleweight division was loaded with talent. Those guys and they're fighting each other on a regular basis and bombing with that great left hook that we've been talking about tonight. Derek Bailey, man, salute to you. Did I salute you yet? I'm sorry if I do it twice. I got a wicked short-term memory, and man, had one in between, but Ray didn't have one, I believe. Thank you, Xavier, man. That's why I see guys like Xavier, they know the history of boxing that, man, I'm not going to know that stuff. And to have guys like this in the chat that'll, boom. Thank you so much, my brother. And remember, man, sub to my brother George Jakovich's channel over there, because he does a thing called Round 1 with George every week, man. It's quick, concise, to the point. He's going to tell you what happened this weekend in boxing, and make sure you catch it, because you don't catch it, he's going to put another one. He puts them out quicker than Carter puts out pills. So make sure you sub to George and hit that notification button so they remind you when those round 1 with George comes out. They usually come out on a Monday or a Tuesday to tell you what happened the week before in boxing. So check it out. Look at you, just got a subscriber from my man D-Ray out there. My brother D-Ray,
I appreciate it.
Great guy. Contributes to the channel, calls in on call-in shows, jumps on panels, knows his shit. Shout out to D-Ray Promotions. And he's a ride or die with Bud Crawford, brother.
D-Ray good peoples, man. I told him he needs to go get the promotion aspect for Bud. He needs to hire D-Ray.
Yeah, baby.
We had some did we have some left hooks tonight?
Jack
Dempsey, Ray Robinson, Sugar Ray Leonard, David Tua, Joe Frazier. Man, I mean,
George kept calling them left hookers.
Left hookers,
man. Yeah, that just tickles my soul, man. Every time you say left hookers.
Hey, you know how that's so intertwined with boxing. They said the night that the rematch with Joe Louis and Max Schmeling, the fight that made the whole world stop. It made World War II. It kept World War II from happening for a few months. But they say that night, even the hookers took the night off. I heard Burt Randolph Sugar say that because it was such a big fight that even the hookers took the night off that night.
Wow, that's pretty big for that to happen.
And man, I'm going to end it on here. We had 2 great hours. I want to keep this nice and precise. Keep it up there so people check it out on the replays. You know, anybody has any comments, put them in below, man. Let us know the fight you want us to cover on Tuesday Night Fights because there's so many fights out there, and you know we can get the family involved, bro. It just makes it more, just makes it bigger to me. It keeps it interesting, keeps it fresh, keeps it interactive. George, man, I'm digging on it. We're gonna knock out of here in a few, George. You want to say any goodbye words before we go?
Is it Tuesday? I can't wait till next Tuesday. I mean, we got 6 more days till next Tuesday. So let's go. Tuesday Night Fights. Let's keep it going. That's all I can say. And G5, listen, it's always better, G5, when you get here early like you did tonight.
Hey, G5 is
early last week.
You're right. You're right. You're right.
Yeah.
You're right.
I am grateful that G5 came in here and stayed in here, bro. G5, I got up this morning, I think about 8 o'clock my time. I turned on the fucking internet, and G5's got a panel up there. He's going at it, and bro, he's on west of me. So, and yet I see him on at midnight when I go to bed. I'm like, I got to get to bed. It's too late. And he's on there doing his thing, bringing on brothers, talking boxing, talking life. And you know, I don't know when he sleeps. He says he sleeps. He's in there on a freaking on a back a toot. He's on a forklift. He's saying he's got to cook. He's got to cook for people, get people fed. I'm saying, what is this motherfucker doing, man? He don't sleep. I swear, he's battery operated. All he has to do is plug that charger in any kind of port, and he's good.
Let me plug it in.
So shout out to my brother G5, man. Sub to G5, sub to George Jack. If you haven't subbed already to Bruce Gas, that's me, man. Used to be Bruce Goes, still is on my checks, but over here on YouTube, Bruce Gas, Boxing, Jazz, and more. Thank you so much, everybody that came in here, man. I'm going to get out of here. I'm going to go see Stormy B. I'm going to get something to eat. Take the dog outside, man. Next week, Tuesday Night Fights, man. The 3 of us are definitely going to be here if the good Lord permits it. It's what we do, man. Just take care of yourself out there, man. Like I say, man, nothing is guaranteed. You know, I could walk out tonight and get hit by a truck. You know, every day is blessed.
Man,
every
Bruce,
day is a gift.
Let's end happy. You're not getting hit by a truck. Bruce Gas is not
George,
getting hit by a truck.
You know, if I did,
it's not happening.
If I did, it's been a life well lived, my brother. And especially the last few months, I've been hanging out with you cats, getting my channel going. You know, just feeling a little more energized, feeling like I'm doing a little better for myself. So, you know, it's a beautiful thing, and it's only going to get better, man. You know, and you guys, fucking G5 inspires me. You know, he kind of, he does. He elevates what I think I'm doing to more than what it is. But it gives me, I want to hit that go live button. All like, damn, you know.
Yeah. I'm an average Joe, man. I'm an average Joe. Just
we're all average Joes. We're all average Joes. We get in here, we do something above average when we put the 3 skulls together over here, man.
Oh yeah, man.
I'm gonna leave it at that, man.
You know, I'm glad this concept.
Peace.
I'm glad this concept came up. It's dope.
You know, we're gone. We're firing up. We're out of here, man. Thank you so much for coming in once again. Peace.